All right, Dr. Veasy. So I said something this week
Mm-hmm.
to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't judge me.
Okay.
All right?
I'm going to
So
try
I
not
made a
to.
statement. In the heat of the moment, I said, women are manipulative.
Excuse me.
I said, don't judge me. I said, don't judge me. I'm trying to be, it's supposed to be a transparent moment.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you judging me?
I'm focusing.
Okay,
I'm
listen.
focusing. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I said it. And then a friend of mine, he came back and said, that's not true, in the sense he's like, and I think I was trying to paint the picture from like a negative perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, manipulation is not a negative word.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa, what do you mean? Talk to me. Tell me more.
Okay,
right?
okay.
You know what I mean? So he asked me a question. He asked me like some questions. He said, so I'm going to ask you some questions, Christian. Give me your responses.
Okay.
What is manipulation?
Mm-hmm.
What is convincing? What is persuasion? Right? There's another one. Let's just use those three as the examples that I can remember from what he said. And immediately when I saw that, I was like, all three of these words have the same structure.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look at the definitions, like the dictionary definitions. To me, it's the same act. So the example, like, if I want Dr. Veasy to do something, I basically have to convince you to do the thing.
Okay.
Vice versa, you do the same
Mm-hmm.
to me. So, but I didn't realize my brain, I've always framed that word as a negative thing.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
Negative.
So what do you think about that word? Is it for you, is it a negative word, or do you feel like everyone at some point in their lives and experience are manipulating?
I honestly feel like everybody has done some form of manipulation. I don't
Yeah.
know what kind. You said something you said something to get a certain response out of somebody. You manipulated this to cause this.
Yeah.
Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, did it on purpose, or you just wanted to get a rise out of somebody. I don't know the reason why one would do it, but I believe people, that's part of their day-to-day operations, if you will.
That's he made me kind of look at it from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking about that. I started thinking about like sales, like
Okay.
someone selling you something.
Uh-huh.
At some level, I have to convince you
Either buy
or
it or don't.
manipulate you
Yeah.
to get what I'm offering.
Right.
Right?
So.
And it completely like that. And that's why I really practice reframing these days of not looking at anything one-sided, because I didn't realize I did that quite often. So always knowing like, okay, this might be like the universal meaning of this word, but there's always a completely different perspective of the exact same word.
Yeah.
You know, because when he talked about convincing, it's the same thing. You're trying to convince someone, manipulate someone.
Right. So
It's so funny.
you're trying to change him to go to your side of the fence.
Yeah, he used the example of like, well, no, my cousin used this example. Girls put on makeup, put on a dress to manipulate a man.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that.
Well, and the men do dress up nice, looking nice, and smelling cologne, shaven nicely.
Wow.
You know, they're manipulating too.
That's so funny.
Okay, don't try to put it all on the women.
Well, it's not a men versus women thing.
I know, but you know, let's call it like it is.
I know. I get what you. No, that's a good point.
Yes.
It's even like with like job interviews.
Yeah.
Like you're there putting your best foot forward, there to manipulate the audience to give you the job.
So, and hopefully, if you're going to a job interview, hopefully you've learned something about it before you go.
Yeah.
So that you can really speak like you know
Well,
what you're talking about.
yeah, but I don't think anyone ever goes into a job interview and knows everything about an
You don't know,
organization.
but
Enough just to manipulate to get what you want.
but
Yeah.
a person that is going for an interview someplace, I would hope that they would have read about that company, know something about that company, because a lot of these companies, when you're going to interview, they ask questions. Well, could you name one of our core values for us?
Yeah. But that can be easily manipulated.
You think you can?
Well, that's easy.
No, not really.
Yeah.
No, because it depends on what question they ask you. They could ask you a deep-seated type question that you may not have even, you might have just skimmed over something and just a surface. But most of the people do go and do some homework about wherever they're trying to interview so they could have some sort of knowledge. Now, some people don't do any and they just figure they could wing it, but
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that winging. But for
No.
me, what I've learned with interviews is 100% for me, I have to be myself. Like, I have to be able to speak to things the way, because the thing is, if someone's interviewing you, of course, they want you to be able to perform in the role, but they want you for you to be you, not for you to come in and conform into whatever. So
they're looking for that too. They're looking for that. They're looking at how well you can speak to different topics or things that they're talking about, but they're asking you questions so that they can get a feel of who you are.
That's it. That's for me. That's my go-to. Just answer the questions like we're having a conversation now. Just talk about for me, I try to just talk about whatever comes to my mind. We live in the world, people take everything personal or directed at them. And that's why I always try to give that, disclaimer with what we're doing here, that I'm sharing one perspective.
Yeah.
So and this is not to tell anybody to think or live this way.
Right.
But this is just how I view the world.
Right.
And that's the thing people get misconstrued. Like, okay, they have a podcast. They're talking about things. Who are you to tell me what to do? Nobody's trying to tell anybody what to do. You don't have to agree with me.
But I think we're very clear every time. This is our perspective about things, and you can listen, which we hope you do listen.
Yeah.
And we really want you to come back with your perspective. We're good with that because it's a dialogue. Everybody's learning things.
That's right.
What one person may have done and it worked well may not be what the other person does and it works. So it's all about listening.
That's it. And then so like the word manipulative, some words have like a definite meaning, like, right? But then some words have a meaning, of course.
Yeah.
But then there's like this gray area where they kind of like smear into other words. And manipulative is one of those. Convincing is another one. Like these words, they quote unquote might have. And that's the thing, like when you're communicating with someone, you say a word and you think they understand what you're putting out. And that's not always the case.
Sometimes you have to clarify. If I say this word, what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do that to make sure that they are thinking.
Comprehending. Yeah. And then sometimes it's good, like maybe if you have a relationship of some level with that person, so you have an understanding of how they perceive the world and understand things. So when you say it, the person is, grasping what you're putting down. But that's not always the case.
No.
But we live in a society that everyone wants to tell you this thing has one meaning and one meaning only.
Yeah. But look up the dictionaries. There's different nouns, verbs, actions, all different things.
All made up.
So it's different.
All made up. It's all made up by somebody. Everything we know was derived from somewhere. There's nothing new.
No.
On the face of the earth. Nothing. Because you wake up tomorrow, there's this brand new idea of something. Okay? That didn't just come out of thin air. That was derived from somewhere.
And it's also like a trial and error type thing. If you did this, then that. It- People can interchange their words,
Yeah.
and people can make their words or their meanings how they want them to be interpreted.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So that's why, like, some people will start talking about, okay, I'm looking at this word, and this is what I mean by this word, because they're trying to make sure that you understand this is what I'm talking about
Yeah.
by saying this word. But you may look at that in a different way as well.
100%. Like that's why I appreciate my friend the way he was able to reframe that for me, because when I said it, it wasn't like it wasn't a positive thing because I just had an experience that was not so.
Not so good.
But I have such a like high level of awareness that I was able to see it happening what the person was trying to do. But I'm in flow with my life. I don't resist anything, so I just allow it to happen because you gotta let people just fully just express themselves versus trying to cut it short because you never know. You can stop like a message is just supposed to be coming
Yeah.
through when you do that.
And they might be there. What was it? There's somebody's saying there's a method to the message.
Ooh, I like
There's
that.
a method to the message.
Yeah.
If we are so quick to intervene
Yeah, I like that.
without sitting back, just trying to take it in and see where they're coming from. Maybe you don't understand, but try to let it come out. Let
That's the
their
thing.
perspective
Let it
come
flow.
out.
Let it all the way out. I had a habit of stopping things before they come out. Like, I don't want to hear that because it's negative.
Ah,
Right? Like I don't say like, but I've gotten to a place where I realize I have 100% of the power and control. I can discern. So, and no information that's from an outside source coming towards me has any meaning or power until I give it power. and meaning.
yeah. Now you just said something. You control that, but does everybody know they control that?
No, I'm telling you right now, I can flat out say no.
Some people can't say no. They feel that I don't know, they don't have it in them.
Yeah.
They won't challenge the status quo, if you will. It's like
Yeah, so I allow the information to come all the way through, and then I still have the control to, oh, I can this is completely irrelevant to what I'm thinking. This is might have a little bit of relevancy, but that's not enough for me to acknowledge. So I do all this internally in my mind, but once people like, if you realize that nobody can speak anything over you. You know, I always hear that these people speak. The only way someone can speak a curse over you is if you
if
believe
you let
it.
them.
If you believe it, the belief has to come from you. The person can climb on top of the roof and yell down all they want. If I don't believe what you're saying,
Not happening.
it's a bunch of air. But that's the thing. People don't like. I hear it all the time. Oh, somebody can speak a curse. No, you can't speak nothing over me unless I allow it.
And that's the key. You have to accept it, but you don't accept it, so you won't receive any of that stuff.
Man,
but people will allow others to speak instead of walk away. You don't have to stay there.
Yeah, because there's something innate inside of them that they believe what that person's saying.
Yeah,
You
but
have a belief inside of you that matches what that person just said to you. That's why you believe. Like, for example, I use this as an example. Like people that feel like they can like speak curses or voodoo, whatever you want to call it as, on other people. The only way that works is if you believe in the
Yeah.
idea of voodoo or curses or whatever. Because if you come from a completely different background, that you've never been exposed to that word or what that even means.
You don't
if
even
someone
know.
said that to you, you look at them and laugh.
I know.
And giggle and be like, what are you talking about?
Joke.
It's like somebody speaking French or Japanese to you.
It's a joke.
It is a joke. And that's the same idea. Even if you come from a background that this stuff is instilled in you, you still have the control to be like, you're blowing hot air.
A lot
Because
of people,
I am the creator. I'm the controller. I give it meaning.
but the person, they have to believe that. They gotta believe that.
You gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta really believe that you are a creator. If like I can't, this is not something that can be, honestly, I don't even think it can be taught. I think it's a decision that you make, and then you have to have a strong group, small group of, for me, it's a very small group of trusted individuals that almost like they're able to genuinely call me out when I'm not doing
Yeah.
things that align versus
Yeah.
when I am. They also have the wherewithal to say, man, you're great at this. Some people don't do that. Some people, right, they'll see that you're great at something, but they won't tell you because maybe they're afraid of something. I don't know. I can't even explain that. But I have a group of people around me that are men and women enough. They stand in their own 10 toes down, have confidence in,
Yeah.
and say, Christian, you're great at this.
But it's
Keep doing that.
You know what? And those people that are surrounding you, they're not afraid to disagree. There's no issue when you disagree. You disagree and move on.
Yeah.
But some people can't do that. They cannot do it.
Easy.
They can't. I mean, they have to be right
Yeah.
or wrong
What
or
does that
whatever.
even mean? What does right or wrong even
Because
mean?
whatever they say is right. That's what it means.
It's the people want you to conform to how they view the world.
Yeah, but
That's so I see that a lot. People want you to conform to how they view the world. And if you're anything outside of that, it's a problem. Like for them, not for you.
right?
It's for them. If you think completely outside of the box, something's wrong with you. I'm okay with that. You can label me all you want.
Yeah.
You trying to label me is you're wasting your energy and your time on something that's you can't control. Like you're labeling yourself. You're keeping yourself in the box because it has nothing to do with me.
I know.
The only labels that matter are the labels I give myself.
But they will continue to try.
Oh, it's never gonna stop until
gonna
you
try.
die.
But they have to understand it's okay to disagree. We agree to disagree. That's how you see it. This is how I see it. Let's move on.
Move on. But that's not always the case.
No.
The world it's an interesting place to navigate. If for me is that's why I'm very clear about the people I surround myself around. It's important for me because I have people that they think the way that I think. They view the world the way that I view the world. It's similar. It's not exact. It's impossible to be exact.
Okay.
But it's similar in the sense of like there are no constraints on the relationship, meaning there's no like pressure for anything. There's no pressure to respond. There's no pressure to attend events. If the person can make it, if they can't make it, there's no like holding anything against. I have some like right now I've been fortunate enough to build a really solid group of friends around me. Well, it's not, that's taking it too far. I would even say friend. It's a friend.
Okay.
It's really one person that I really genuinely trust. The guy, he's an incredible human being. Amazing human being in the way that he views the world. Energetically, non-judgmental, frequency very high, and then he holds me accountable. Like there's no fear to say, Christian, think about it this way. I know you're looking at, for example, what I said at the beginning about manipulation. He's able to say, I think you're looking at that from a negative light. You know, understand that there's no negative connotation around the world. The word, you know what I mean? It could mean this. Like he can do that. He does that freely, and like the transparency, the directness. That's what I appreciate about him.
Yeah, not everybody has that talent, if you will. They don't have that.
It's a skill. I say
I don't know that they want it. Honestly, some
It's
people
not
like
easy.
Some people want to conform. They want to just be okay. They don't want to. They keep the status quo. They don't think. They won't challenge you to think in another direction.
No, because it's easier. People want easy. We live in a
But-
world that easy is the way. And the reason I appreciate him is he challenges the world himself, the way he thinks, the way he views things. It's not easy to be the way that he is.
Yeah.
It's not easy that for me to start to question pretty much everything that I've learned my entire life and not question it because it got me to where I am today. So I appreciate all the different, things that I've learned, morals, values, and things of that nature. But at the same time, I'm at the place where I also want to explore other ways of viewing the exact same things that I've learned.
So you have learned to open up.
And I'm still learning. It never stops for me.
You're learning.
It's to me, until I'm dead, it never stops. Like there's always gonna be. There's
But it's
always
good. It's good to be able to think outside the box
yeah.
because we never know. You just never know what that brings. It brings different perspective, different meanings, different.
It's
Just
freeing.
it to me allows your mind to be open.
There's a release. There's a release because you don't feel confined. Like I felt confined with some of the beliefs that I had. Because you believe this is the only way
Yeah.
possible. But when you start to understand there are infinite ways to do the same thing, it's freeing.
Yeah.
So when someone's speaking to me, I'm not here just using like my experiences to give what they're saying meaning. I'm actually listening to what they're saying, and I can ask questions. Hey, Dr. Veasy, what did you mean by that? Can you share? Can you try to paint a picture for me so I can better
Good key.
grasp?
Good key. Those are the kinds of things that I look for when you're talking. You're just listening, and I want to be able to say, I want you to know that I'm hearing you and I'm listening to you, and I'm not thinking about something way over someplace else.
Yeah.
Because when you come back and say, I didn't quite understand what did you mean by that? I took it like something like this. What help me understand? I just want to make sure that I'm seeing or I'm thinking.
It's
And it
easiest.
doesn't and I don't have to be thinking the same as you, but this is the perspective that I got out of that.
Yeah.
It may not even be what you were thinking about.
Yeah. It's easier said than. It's not easy to do though. It's easier said than
No.
done.
But
That's the
but
thing.
the question but to ask.
Questions.
To ask that person.
Questions. Questions is that's my strategy, and that's
Yes.
why I appreciate the close friend of mine that I was telling you about. He has great questions.
That's good.
He has questions that challenge my entire thought process, and that's powerful. Like I'm so fortunate to have someone like that that really has exposed me to a completely different world.
I think
Like
that
I'm
opens your
free.
mind. It really opens your mind
Yeah.
because when they ask you, you're thinking, wow, yeah, what about that?
Yeah. And then the way he communicates is it's never to get you to agree with him.
It's to make you
He's
think.
very strategic.
You're
Like
thinking.
he's
He wants
a
you to
wise
think.
dude.
He, she, they want you to think. Think for yourself.
That's the thing. It's empowering. It's like he's
Yes.
giving me power. Man, people like that don't exist. Well, at least not in my world. I'm sure
No.
they're out there somewhere, but in my
Yeah.
world,
But
I don't see
few.
a lot of guys
Few-
like that.
Few and far between.
Yeah, it just shows too, like the confidence he has in who he is, because he can speak life into other people openly and feel nothing. He can walk into a room. There's sometimes you walk into a room and people feel like they have to measure themselves up to you. That's not even the case. I'm me. I'm in my world. Like you can't penetrate my world. Like you can't. My energy force is mine. You can't touch that. You got to create your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to create your own. But it's like these conversations always take us down different alleys.
I know.
But at the end of the day, that's why we're here. We're here to just chat and talk and just hopefully we can say something that resonates with someone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm still learning.
We
That's the
all
one
are
thing.
learning. I don't care.
It
I
never
don't
stops.
care. We're all learning.
It never stops until I'm dead. Let me speak for myself before they say I'm trying to tell them what to do. For myself, until I'm dead.
Okay.
Like it never stops for me. I'm gonna keep learning, and I'm just praying God Himself and the universe keeps bringing people around me. Well, listen, the way that I move now, the frequencies that I'm moving, I don't know. Everything in my frequency is supposed to be there. Everything that happens is supposed to happen. There are no mistakes. It's all perfect.
No.
It's all supposed to happen.
In all due season.
Great conversation, Doc.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
Okay.
This is a good one today, right?
It's always a good
It
one.
is. Listen, this is my session to come talk and just get it off my chest. Until next time,
Where are we going?
we're going to be right here on Full Circle Chat.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll
have a
see you then.
Yeah, have a wonderful day. And follow us on social media, all platforms.
We're here to talk to you.
Dr. Veasy, you're funny. You crack me up.